What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is November 17th at 1:05 in the afternoon. Yes, it's the middle of the trading day. I'm aware, but it's my lunch break. So I'm taking some of my lunch time to do something that was suggested by the rest of the community, which was sharing what is normally private chat sessions that we have within our community. And we call them Jimmy Talks because they come on the heels of bad polling days. And what I mean by that is this. If you look here, you'll see that we had more losing trades than winning trade people today. And when that happens, that usually starts the beginnings of a Jimmy chat. So when I see that that happens at the end of a trading day, I go ahead and make an announcement on the community. It usually happens at 9 o'clock Eastern because it gives me time to deal with my family stuff, take my kids to their soccer practices and all that fun stuff. But we end up talking about harsh realities that a lot of people who are learning to trade are never told or never think about. And I'm not going to be the guy who's going to try to convince you that this is an easy business to learn, because it's not. So I am going to share last night's Jimmy chat publicly, as I said, as per requested and suggested by our own community members. They are long. They're long. I think this one was almost an hour and a half long. But if you find the time, I suggest you take a listen. Apparently, it was one of the better ones that I've ever done. Again, this is all being told to me by the folks who are on the receiving end of the talk. So I'm going to give it a try and see how the YouTube world likes it. They're either going to roast me or they're going to listen and maybe learn some things and think different so that they can win different, which is the motto here. So give it a shout, or give it a try. Take a look, watch, listen, and let me know. Until then, you guys have a great day. I love you. So we used to have these chats quite often, and they used to come on the heels of bad days, and we judged bad days based on the poll. Admittedly, there have been a couple of times where we've had more reds than greens, and we haven't had this chat. A lot of that has to do with a couple of factors. Number one, I'm a family guy who took a lot of time away from my family in trying to build this community while having a full-time job. I have time to make up for, okay? Number two, my kids are in sports, traveling sports, that requires practices and games basically 5 days a week. I want to be here. I want to be here every night, but I just can't. Okay, it's not fair to my kids. It's not fair to my kids. It's not fair to my wife. It's not fair to me. I left my day job so that I can maybe just have a single job for a change, and that is what I feel I provide here. Now, I just wanted to give you guys a brief fill-in on that so that we can get into the gist of these chats, which is quite simple.
Okay.
Most of us are... Who is that?
Got him.
Thank you. Let's start with some expectations, because I think this is where a lot of people don't want to hear, okay? Or they don't think about, or they want to believe they're going to be the ones that this part of this chat, which is to me the most important part of the chat, you want to believe you're better than this, right? You shouldn't be held subject to this for whatever reason, whatever sense of entitlement you think you have or should have, or whatever the case is. But I think it comes as no surprise to everybody in here, otherwise you wouldn't be in here, that trading is difficult. It always will be difficult. It takes time and effort to be good at it. Sadly, many of us expect it to be quick and easy. And that's where things start to go south. My question is, why should it be quick and easy? Because you want it to be? It's not how life works. You think you deserve something for nothing? Do you walk into your job every day and ask your boss for a raise, having applied or supplied nothing in additional value? No, you don't. But you walk into the stock market expecting the same things. Why shouldn't it be difficult? Why shouldn't you have to work harder to receive more than you're currently receiving? The difficulty in attaining the ability to do well in this business is what gives it its value, its lure, so to speak. It's the fuel for the gas tank that is your drive and determination to learn this business. If everyone could do this quickly and easily, then everybody would be successful at it and nobody would give a shit. It wouldn't hold any value to anybody. Okay? If everyone who tried it became successful at it, especially easily, then it wouldn't be something so many would continue to try and be good at. It wouldn't be special. The whole point is that the goal, trading in this case, is difficult to attain, and that's why 95% of the people who attempt to learn it fail. They wanted to acquire this goal quickly and easily. True value. True value is what makes the pain of learning worth it. It's linked to difficulty. If you want something that's valuable, in this case, learning the skill of trading, then you need to deal with the difficulties that come with obtaining it. If you're looking for this business to be quick and easy, then I suggest you change your way of thinking and consider finding another venture to throw your money at, because this is not going to be for you. For many of you, a lot of what I'm going to say tonight is something you've heard before, especially if you've been here for a while. I don't know how many different ways I can come up with saying, stop doing stupid shit. But in a nutshell, that's what this chat is going to be all about. I'm going to remind you of the stupid shit you're doing. I'm going to explain to you why you're doing stupid shit. I can explain to you how to avoid doing stupid shit, but none of you are going to fucking listen. You're going to listen tonight and you're going to say, you know what, Jimmy? You're absolutely right. Everything you said is something that I do. It just happened to me today. It just happened to me last week. And you know what the sad part is? You can say that it happened to you every week for the last 6 months, which means you're continuing to do the same stupid shit you've been doing for 6 months. And what's crazy? You're expecting a different result every time. Every time. And here we are, blaming today's chart for our stupid shit. Today's chart's the problem. That's one of the topics on my list of things to talk about. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So as I said, go throw money at something else, right? Maybe go to medical school, law school, something like that. Rumor has it that's quick and easy. Everybody can attain that. That sounds ridiculous. Why? Because you and I both know it's expensive as shit to learn how to become a doctor, and it takes a tremendous amount of time, and a lot of people won't make it. These are the facts. Perhaps maybe throw in some shoulder pads, run out onto an NFL football field and see how you stack up against people who have been doing this their entire life. And then tell yourself while you look in the mirror after you got your ass completely whooped by people who have earned the right to whoop your ass, and say, you know what? Despite the fact that they've been doing this their whole life and developed a skill set that you can only dream of having, tell yourself with a straight face that you deserve it more than them. Sounds ridiculous, right? Higher education, higher levels of knowledge, professional sports, and everything else that's worth doing for the reasons we hope to do it for, in this case, to become wealthy, financially independent, whatever the case is designed to be hard so that everybody can't do it. It's designed to wade out the people who suck at it. Anybody who's in the NFL is so far beyond a physical specimen that you cannot even wrap your head around. It's ridiculous. The speed, the knowledge of the game, everything, the physique of these guys. You've got 350-pound linemen that could run twice as fast as you. But you think you're going to get out on that field and you can do as good as that guy. Okay? So what are you left with after you've done all the work in the gym, on the football field, through all those years of schooling? You're left with the cream of the crop. You're left with the top 5%, which is what we're all trying to achieve here. The top 5%. 95% of people who try this fail. Now, I say all that to say this. There are some realizations that you all need to accept and take to heart. I'm going to say things that are going to be very general and broad, understanding that it does not apply to every single person in here. Okay? Number one, assume you suck as a trader. Assume you suck as a trader. Why? Because you do while you're learning. It's just a fact. And if you can accept the fact that you suck as a trader, then you're open to learn how to not suck at it. But if you refuse to accept the fact that you're not as good as you think you are, there's room for growth. You're open and susceptible to learning from somebody else who's trying to teach you, trying to help you. But you cannot move forward until you've accepted that you're not good enough yet. It's impossible. I get into the market every single day hoping, begging to learn something new, begging to get better, finding something else that helps me progress in my trading journey. Every day. In fact, everything I do in life, I have that attitude. I go at everything as if I'm going to try to be the best at it, knowing that I'll never be the best at it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try. You've all heard the adage that knowledge is power. Knowledge is money. You guys watch this happen on a daily basis. with people who have put in the time, the effort, the energy to gain the knowledge to be good at this. How do I know that? How do you know that that's the person? Because you're asking them every fucking day in the wins column, how did you do that? What indicators are you using? What strategy is working for you? How did you do this? You never like the answer that that person gives. Because nobody's going to tell you what you're hoping to hear. Which is, oh, dude, it's just this indicator. It tells me when to buy, it tells me when to sell, and I make money every day because of it. Doesn't exist. Oh, it's this particular strategy. All I did was tweak it this way, and I just can't lose. Wrong. The secret sauce is in you. You just haven't dug it out enough yet. So, assume you suck as a trader. Next realization. It's going to take you more time than most of you are willing to put in to not suck anymore. This is the cold hard truth. Most people don't have what it takes as far as determination, dedication goes in order to make it through all of the suck, the pain, the difficulties that is required from every trader who became good at this. Dude, you can watch videos of people, professional traders. Tom Haggard is one of them. Hogard? Whatever his name is. That guy used to spend hours and hours every day printing out every chart of every time frame and looked at them and studied them every fucking day. Books upon books upon books of charts printing out to study them. Most of us don't have that. We don't possess that level of dedication. We just don't. And the reasons for that are many, right? I think we all have the ability, but most of us don't have the will to activate that ability. When you go out on a venture determined to do something, truly determined, whether it's quitting smoking, whether it's exercising, whether it's trading, sports, it doesn't matter. If you're truly dedicated to succeeding in that, you'll do it. You'll do it. When I decided that I was going to quit, I had one cigarette left in my pack of cigarettes. And I was at work. I worked with my dad at the time, and I looked right at him and I said, "Dad, this is going to be my last cigarette." Dude, I had smoked a pack and a half a day for 10 years. And that was my last cigarette. And I am convinced that because I was mentally prepared to actually quit, it was easy. No cravings. No bad moods. None of the bullshit. Oh, I can't drink because then I have to smoke. No. No, you don't. If you want to use drinking as a crutch as to why you have to smoke, well, sure, be a pussy about it. No different than saying, oh, the chart was a bad one today. That's why I lost money. Oh, the strategy sucks. That's why I lost money. Oh, don't have enough indicators on my chart today. That must be why I lost money. Yep, that's it. That's the secret. You know what I'm saying? So the point of this particular realization was it's going to take more time than you're willing to put in. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about the whys and what's required in the future. Next, these are all things you must accept before you stand a chance in this business. Next, you're going to lose money. The how much is and all of that stuff, totally up to you. What you choose or have chosen is why you feel as much pain as you feel. Doesn't have to be that way. Also something we will discuss on how to fix that, or how to minimize that. Okay? Last, sad, but also true. Most of you will not make it in this business. That's a statistical fact. I personally believe you all have the ability to do this, but most of you will not. These are statistical numbers that are just proven. You know, and what am I doing by telling you guys this, right? I'm trying to put your mind in the mode that it must be in. I'm trying to prepare you for the uphill battle that you are only half right about. Whatever time frame you think this was going to take for you to get good at, triple it. Doesn't mean it's going to take 3 times as long, but assuming that it will take the edge of having to get rich tomorrow off of your trades. Another thing you need to realize, your day job, especially while you're learning, is going to be the most consistent income and profit you will ever have. So don't quit your day job until you've got a chunk of money sitting in the bank and you've perfected the process of the trade. All right. Now, what's required? Patience. Number 1 on the list. If you don't have it, you're not going to make it. It's really that simple. If you can't learn to exercise patience, you're not going to make it. Don't fool yourself into believing you will. Don't try and figure out a way to get around it. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. Many of you have heard me say, many times, some of you, don't let impatience justify stupidity. What do I mean by that? You're looking at a chart that you are having a very hard time finding trades to take. But instead of walking away from that chart, you sit there and you stare at it. And then what do? You get bored. And that itch starts to come. And you say, man, this is getting pretty boring. Let me just take a trade so I'm not bored anymore. This is what happens. You take the trade, knowing that you sat out this whole time leading up to now because there was nothing to trade. But all of a sudden, for some fucking reason, that feeling changed. And it wasn't because you saw all of a sudden a good chart. No. It's because you sat there and you watched a boring chart to the point where you had to make it not boring by spending your fucking money. Not only did you spend your money, you probably lost money. And if you got lucky enough to not lose money, then you probably felt extremely uncomfortable in the trade to begin with. You need to understand how all of this shit ties together. And we're going to talk about where it starts in a few minutes. You're all capable of knowing and understanding when you're doing something you shouldn't be, i.e., you're smart enough to know when you're about to do stupid shit, okay? Choose to walk away. If you feel that happening, walk away from your computer, guys. There is no way for me to fix that. I cannot go to your house and tear you out of your computer chair to prevent you from taking a trade you already know you should not be taking. You can't do that. My way of teaching and my way of trading is not glamorous, okay? But sure as fuck consistent, accurate, and profitable. How do I know? My trading account balance says so. How do you know? Because I tell you guys on a regular basis with uncanny accuracy, often, what is about to happen, what should happen if it does happen, and where you should potentially consider getting out of your trade. Every fucking day, this is what I spend my day doing. But so many people, well, you're not trading enough. Your way of trading doesn't present enough opportunities. My way of trading presents fucking stacks of money in my bank account. And here you are over here trying to catch every other trade using 50 different strategies and 37 indicators and giving away more money on a daily basis than I do in a 6-month period. But trading more is better, guys. Congratulations. Trading more is better. Absolutely. You all know I'm right. And this has nothing to do with trading skills. This whole talk has nothing to do with your ability to read a chart. Because none of that fucking matters even a little until you can get your head straight. I often say it, and the people who are in there during the day with me before market open will hear me say, I don't like this chart. I may consider not trading at all. Why do I say that? I say that because I feel like I'm going to do something stupid. Like I'm going to be the guy that I am having the conversation with right now. I don't want to be on the receiving end of this conversation. So I avoid it the best I can. I avoid it because I'm held accountable to a different level than you guys are. You're here because you want to be held at that same accountability level. That's why you're here tonight. And I appreciate the fact that you're here. Tells me that you want to learn. But you have to be willing to accept that what I have to tell you is information that can help you learn. My strategy is irrelevant. My trades are irrelevant. What matters is understanding why I took the trades I took, why I got out of the trades I took, why my stop losses are where they are, where I decide to take those trades, at what time and what I paid to do so, and how many contracts means fucking nothing. It should not mean anything to any of you. And some people will say, just happened today. Well, it's hard to trust somebody if you don't show your account. Really? What about the fact that every day I call out 5 to 10 solid, massively money-making trades before they fucking happen? What difference does it make if I take them myself or not? I'm telling you that it's going to happen before it fucking happens. Why would I not take advantage of what I'm telling you? Now, this is not turning into I feel like people don't trust me. I don't feel that way at all. And I truly thank you guys for that. Because I've been there before, and that fucking sucks. Actually wrecked me hardcore. We're not there anymore. And I have information to share that's valuable. If you choose to ignore that information or don't implement it properly, then how am I supposed to help you? Right? And I know when this is happening, right? I can see it collectively as a community. Right? And I'll be the first to say, my strategy is not going to be what works for everybody. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm totally okay with that. I embrace people trying to learn or go with a different or new strategy. But what I don't want people to do is to jump to a new strategy every other day because they gave one strategy 2 days worth of effort. Second day, it didn't work out. I'm moving on to the next one because the strategy is the problem. Strategy is the problem. Not me. Oh no. I'm a perfect fucking trader. Can't be me. It's the strategy. It's the indicators. You know how many people tell me how I should add indicators to my chart? What the fuck? Why? What? Because you feel like you need them on your chart, I should have to have them on mine? No, thank you. I'm good. I'm comfortable in the way I trade. We all poke fun at me, and including myself, and I know it sounds ridiculous. Some of you might not even know. I trade. All my trades are done on my phone. I'm sitting in front of a massively powerful computer with 3 27-inch monitors in front of my face, and I still trade on my phone because I'm afraid to break my system, my process that has been proven to work for years. And it's not a legendary thing. I'm afraid, even knowing, I know that if I switch to doing it on the desktop, it will make my life easier. I know that, but I'm afraid to change anything because I am doing very well with what I have going on. Another thing you have to have: emotional control. And sadly, and unfortunately, this extends far beyond the trading floor. It starts at home. It starts in your day-to-day life. It starts at your job. It starts with your financial stability. Whether you're prepared mentally or not, before you step into this community or take your first trade, started prior to you even launching your trading software. And this turns into quite the rabbit hole because there are so many things, like I said earlier, that are tied together. And until all those knots are linked up and you have that full length of rope, you're going to have a problem. All right. If there's a single link missing out of the chain, it's not going to work. The emotional control. If you're having marital problems, if your kid's having issues, if you're having to split your time between your wife, your kids, and trading or learning, I hate to say it, but you're going to have to make sacrifices. Now, when it comes to family and the kids, of course, that sacrifice should be trading until you have your home life situated. You will be doing yourself a severe disservice by not taking care of your home life first. I almost got divorced for this shit. Okay? Not only was I having an issue because of the amount of time I was spending in this community in front of this computer after my day job, I was getting myself into a mode of depression, which just snowballed into what ended up being the scariest part of my entire life. Some people in here know the truth or know what happened. You know, but the short version is, without going into deep detail, is the bullet that should have been in my brain is sitting on my nightstand right now. Right in front of the picture that's on my nightstand that prevented me from doing that, which is a picture of my 4 kids. Do you think that I was making good trading choices while I was in that frame of mind? Of course not. Not suggesting anybody in here has made it to that level, and I certainly hope that if you do, you reach out and talk to somebody. And I'll be willing to be that person. But you need to be right at home. You need to be right at work. If you hate your job, you're not making enough money, and you're turning to trading to fill the void, you're going to make the void worse. It's a form of revenge trading, which leads to the next thing on the list: financial stability. There's a few people in here who found this out the hard way. You tied together a couple weeks of wins, you quit your day job, you trade for a living, and lose all your fucking money. Why? Why? The reason is because suddenly you went from being able to comfortably pay your bills to having to perform. And if you don't, you cannot pay your bills. There is nothing more stressful than saying, if I fuck up this trade, I can't pay my mortgage, or I can't make my car payment, or I can't feed my kids, than trading for a living. That is the most stressful thing. That is exactly, precisely. And I was very, very open about this. Why I required this community to be a source of income for me while I make this transition. I can trade. I just don't know if I can trust myself to trade solely as my only source of income. It would fuck with my head. And that's where I differ from a lot of people. Okay, I know where my limitations are. I accept them. I embrace them. I avoid having to dip my toe into that side of the pool. by removing the problem from the table. Are you asking how I did it, Miss Money Sniper, or are you asking how other people can do it? I mean, I did it all the time. Yes, for me, or yes, you know what, we're not going to talk about that right now. We'll get into it later. I had freedoms. I had my own office and I got all my work done. So I was able to trade all day long. But let's not digress right now. But I had a lot of freedoms at work, which is why I stayed at my job for 15 years. I could listen to any music that I wanted to. I could play on the line. I can, fuck around on YouTube, play on my phone. My boss didn't care so long as I got my actual work job done. And I did. I was very good at my job. I was very fast. But getting back to trading being your only source of income, that is not financial stability. Okay? Even though I am successfully making good money on a daily basis, I don't know that the added stress that would come as this being my only source of income, I don't think I'd do well with it. At least not in the beginning. I've told you guys that I'd probably, if you all decided, you know what, fuck you, Jimmy, we're out, I would be out the following Monday looking for another day job. I don't want to put myself, because I don't think I'm ready to have trading as my only source of income. What would change that? Maybe my 4 kids are all through school and I don't have to worry about paying tuitions anymore. My cars are paid off. Maybe once I have a new roof on my house. Things that I know are going to cost me a ton of money. I want to make sure that I minimize that number before I will personally feel comfortable taking on that risk. We have people who complain about my being too conservative in my trading. I've actually had people leave because I'm not aggressive enough for them. And all that tells me is you lack the patience to wait for the trade setup that would make whatever trade you're missing negligible by waiting for the one that is worth taking. Okay? So, back to financial stability. Have your financial shit in order before you take on trading. This way, you can trade with money that you can afford to lose. These rules are not mine. These rules have existed for I don't know how long. But I've always heard, just like in gambling, never walk into a casino with more money than you're willing to lose. Never take a trade that you're not willing to take 100% loss on. We all know, everybody in here ignores that rule. And then you look around and you wonder why you took the biggest loss of your fucking career today. How'd that happen? I don't know. You took a trade that you shouldn't have? Position was way too big? You had no emotional control? No plan? You fucked yourself. But you won't say that. Nope. It'll be something else. It'll be something else. Next, dedication and perseverance. 2 things that are required at a level that you have never experienced before. To get good at this requires a level of dedication and perseverance that you have never even come close to applying at anything else you've ever done in your life. it will be the hardest thing you ever try and do. And as a result, most of you will quit. And that's okay. It's understandable. I get it. It's difficult. It's easier to walk away. It's easier to walk away. And that's why those of us who choose to walk away, that carries on in other aspects of life. And that's why we are complaining about the things we don't have in life. I don't do well with that. I'm more of the mindset that if I want something, I will do what's necessary to acquire it before I go bitching to my friends and family about why I don't have it. That's fucking bullshit. Unless you're handicapped, anything that you want is attainable within reason. Anything. What you lack is the drive required to fucking get it. This is a fact. If you want something bad enough, you'll know it. Because when you think you're tired, you'll be able to stay awake and keep driving. When you think you're worn out, you're going to find a way to reinvigorate yourself. When you think you don't have enough time, you'll make time by sacrificing somewhere else. When you think your wife's pissed off at you, you'll say, fuck it. I'm stuck doing this. I want to. She'll understand later. This is what's required. This desk that I'm having this conversation with you guys at right now has had my head on it countless nights because I've fallen asleep with my face on the desk. Burnt out. But instead of saying, you know what, I'm tired, I'm shutting it down, I'm going to bed, I literally fucking stayed here until I passed the fuck out on my desk with charts open on my screen. Yes, I missed events with my kids. Yes, I had plenty of fights with my wife. But in the end, I got what I wanted. And it was worth it. But again, I possess the drive necessary, required to earn the right to have what I got. It's just the way it is. Would it have been easier to say, you know what, this isn't worth it? Absolutely. 100%. Would have saved me a lot of heartache. Would have saved me a lot of time, energy, arguments, all of those things. But having driven and pushed through all of that was well worth it. Well worth it. And I'm not saying that you guys aren't trying. I'm not saying that you're not trying hard. Some of you are saying all you are doing is studying and you're not getting better. Figure out how to get to the next level up. It's possible. Everybody who thought that they were doing their best in any aspect of their life found a way to move to the next level. There are people every day, you know, it's like people who ask the question, how rich is too rich? You think some guy just hits $1 million and says, hey, $1 million is fine, I'm good. Fuck no. Guy wants to know how he can get to 10 million next. Not because he needs $10 million, just because the drive to get there is what he's looking forward to. So we'll move on to the next thing. Confidence. You can't get to confidence until you've dealt with everything prior to this particular topic first. Because the confidence comes once you've learned the process. The process is learned and executed properly once you have developed the patience and the emotional control. Then you can use those things to build your confidence. See the setup that you're waiting for, take it without a second thought. And how do we prevent ourselves from being afraid? We use a stop loss. How do we fuck ourselves and trick ourselves into feeling safe? We move our stop losses. Not remove, we move them. When your stop loss becomes a sliding scale, you're fucked. You're fucked. Because it's never going to be move your stop loss closer to the price. No. You're going to wait for the price to get close to your stop loss and you're going to move it deeper and deeper. And when you get down to a point and you realize that where you have moved it to is too big for you to stomach it, you'll just remove it. You'll remove it altogether because, like Danny just said, fuck it. I'm already down 60%. What difference does it make if it goes to zero? That's where the think different, win different comes into play. What's 40%? That's what's left. That's what's left. 40%. You're absolutely right, Marlon. If you're willing to accept it to go to zero, why not take a guaranteed 40%? I'll tell you why. Because you're hoping that you don't have to take a 40% loss or 60% loss, and you're willing to lose the 40% that's left to find out if you were right or wrong. That's a fucked up situation to be in. It's more scary, and I'm sorry this is redundant, but we have new faces in here. You're down your 60%. You decide, fuck it. Okay, so you're willing to let it go to zero. Let's just say, by God's miracle, you're able to get back to close to break even. You know what you're going to do? I'll tell you exactly what you're going to do. You're going to hold that motherfucker and you're going to say to yourself, well, I was just down 60%. It had to move 60% to get me even. I'm going to hold out and get some profit on this. You can't not tell me I'm wrong. You will hold it if you've managed to get back from down 60%. You'll convince yourself that that run must continue. So I'm just going to hold it because I was down 60. Why can't I just move it up and make 60% on it? And then what happens? This is the best part. You get to break even. You hold on to the trade. It starts to retrace back. You get back to your original stop loss. And you say, shit, I should have taken it when I was even. And then you start the process all over again. You mentally have broken yourself. But what's more unfortunate is that you've learned and you know that moving your stop loss is what caused this problem. And then you learned another lesson about considering yourself lucky to have not lost money and you broke even. But greed took over and allowed you to go back to losing money again. And now you're in this really fucked up spot where it's, okay, I know I should have got out when I was lucky enough to break even. Now I'm down this amount, and you will start to convince yourself as to why you should hold on to this trade. It's amazing. You will literally tell yourself, well, we were just at even. I'll wait till it gets back there. And then it slides a little bit farther to the red. Oh, man, now I'm down 20%. My original stop loss was at 10%. I'll just wait till it gets back to being down 10%. I'll cut my I'll listen to my stop loss then. And it doesn't work out that way. You'll start averaging down. Dude, the hoops that you will jump through to hang on to a fucked up, shitty, losing, stupid trade that you took is monumental. Think about the dedication that you're putting into staying into a losing trade and apply that to learning how to fucking trade to avoid that situation in the first place. How about that? Put the same amount of effort that you're putting into a shitty fucking trade into educating yourself to avoid that fucking trade in the first place. Human emotion is a bitch. Emotion is the worst part, the hardest part about trading. There is no mistake about it. I could teach you the technicals you would ever need to know to make a fortune in a week's time. But if you don't have control over your emotions, you stand zero chance. Zero. Not a 50-50 chance. You will not make it in this business, and you will lose a ton of money along the way. And another interesting phenomenon that we all deal with and see. We take a trade. You know what? Before I digress, the last thing on my list as far as what is required, a plan. Every trade should have a plan. If it doesn't, assume you're going to lose money. It's that simple. And if you don't like losing money as much as I do not like losing money, then you will prevent yourself from taking that trade without a plan and think twice. Think different, win different. Every trade should contain 3 components. Number 1, entry. Number 2, stop loss. Number 3, profit target. If you choose to set those 3 things and adhere to those 3 things, you should never be surprised about what happens in between the stop loss and the profit target. There should be no emotion in the trade, but you know what will cause emotion in that trade despite having a plan? If you take a position that's too big and you shouldn't be trading that large of a size. That is how you fuck up your emotions with a trade plan in place. Oh, I use 20% stop losses. Yeah? What's that look like on 10 contracts? Way more than you're used to seeing. And so what do? You panic. You panic. And you're fucked. It's that simple. It's over. You're done. Right? Then you've got the group of people that have a partial trade plan. Oh, I know where I want to get in and I know where my profit target is. You never even stop to think about the possibility that you can be wrong. And when you are, It's as if somebody just shoved something up your ass. That's the surprise face you'll make. And you won't be able to click buttons. And you'll say, oh my God, what do I do? And you're stuck. The element of surprise has hit you. You're done. So the minute you start deviating from your trade plan, you're bending the rules. You're expanding your willingness to be wrong. But you're going to look at it as I'm expanding my willingness to make more money. Huh? By moving my targets, my stop loss down a little bit, and allow me to stay in the trade a little bit longer in case I was wrong about where I should take my stop loss. And as a result, that'll allow me to stay in the trade longer. And, it should hit my profit target if I just give it enough time. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself when you're in that fucking mode. Literally will convince yourself that what you're looking at, knowing it's going against you, you will convince yourself with certainty that you're still right. It's fucking madness. You guys are in there. The people with the gold names are in there with me. You see, because I tell you what my limit order is to buy into the position, where I want it to go, and where my fucking stop loss is. And very rarely do I deviate from those plans. And you're amazed by it for some reason. Jimmy, how do you have the discipline to do that? I don't like losing my money. I don't like losing my money. So I protect my money by stopping the bleeding when it's a manageable loss. The number of people that get into trades, and this is how you know, right? And then and I'll wrap it up because I know it's getting late. I'm sure you guys are getting tired of hearing this shit. But when you take a trade, okay, you shouldn't have any emotional control, or you should have all the emotional control. There should be no emotions involved. Okay. None. There should be none. And if you ever want to know if you're trading a position size that you're not comfortable with, I've shared this exercise before, but just try it. Okay. Just for fun. Take a position size that you are truly willing to let go to zero, that you don't give a single fuck about the dollar amount. Okay. Whether it's a $20 contract, a $50 contract, $100, whatever that number is irrelevant. But make sure it's a number you give zero fucks about. Use that as your contract price. Have a stop loss, have a profit target, and tell me that it was difficult for you to follow your trade plan. You will follow that shit to a T. Guaranteed. Why? Because it's with money you don't care about. Now you take that same exact trade and play 10 contracts at that price. Same strike, you're just putting more money into the trade. Watch how quickly you start to contemplate changing your trade plan after you get in. You'll cut your winner too short because you're going to say to yourself, man, these numbers are growing faster than I'm used to. Or, man, I'm up 20% on my account on this position. I'm going to lock in my profits now. Or it'll start to go against you. and we're not even halfway to your stop loss yet, and you're looking at that money being down, and you're like, fuck. I know my stop loss is at 10%, 15%. And I'm already down $1,000 on this trade. And that's 70% of my account. Hold and hope. Here we come. That's how that works. That's how that works. How do you stop it? Play a position size you're comfortable with losing all of. Don't let it go to zero. Follow your trade plan. You'll be amazed as to how much better you feel while you're in that trade, leading to feeling better about a trade. Don't take my trades if you don't believe the setup is right for you. I am going to start trading for me and not for you guys. Okay? That is going to create pain that a lot of you might be uncomfortable with. My risk tolerance is most likely beyond that of what you're willing to accept. You guys have all heard me say it in that channel. Don't take my trades unless you would take them yourself. You will not feel comfortable in somebody else's trade. Just like if I gave you my underwear, you would not be comfortable wearing my underwear. It's no fucking different. Take your own trades. Understand why I took my trades and apply that information to your own trades so you feel good about them. You must feel good about your trade or you will not manage it properly. This is a fact. Also, if you were coming off bad days, there is nothing that will help you more than taking a few days off of trading, off of charts, off your phone. Walk away. Walk away for a few days. It will help you in ways that you have no understanding of. You need to be able to reset your mind, and continuing to try and dig out of a hole that you've already created oftentimes ends in a bigger hole, which will set you back even further, not just emotionally, but also financially, and the utter lack of confidence that you will have after kicking your own ass because you didn't have the discipline to walk away for a few days. It's like starting over. It's like starting over. It's like blowing up your account, but with your emotions. Understanding that more time in the market does not equal more wins. It equals more risk. More risk. Think different. Think the opposite of the 95% that fail or quit. If you think and do the same things they do, you cannot possibly think that you're going to get different results. Think about it. I apply logic to these talks, guys. Right? I'm trying to open your eyes, turn your head around into looking at things from a different perspective. If you're unhappy about something in life, most people will choose to deal with that unhappiness because it's convenient. It's easier. I would tell you, eat the shit sandwich, but do so knowing that the result is going to be happiness on the other side. Don't continue to wake up miserable every fucking day. Don't continue to make the same mistakes every day. Fix the problem. You're the problem. Fix you. I've given you all of the information, the foundation required to even consider stepping into the stock market tonight. This talk had very little to do with trading. It has everything to do with being properly prepared to trade, which most of us are not prepared for. And I've listed every reason, most of the reasons as to why you have to believe what I'm telling you is the case. You have to open your eyes and acknowledge that, yes, Jimmy, you're right. I am having problems at home. I am struggling financially at home. I would tell you, instead of spending your time trying to make it work in the market, go work extra hours at work, fix your financial problem, pay down your credit cards, whatever it is. Fix that. Fix the source of the problem, not putting a Band-Aid on it by trying to learn how to fix it using some other very difficult means. Trading is not the easy answer for anything. Don't use it as your Band-Aid. It will be acting as a scalpel instead, cutting you open wider and deeper. It's just the way it is. Fix the things that are within your ability to fix first. Trading is not within most of our abilities yet. It can be, but it will never be until the other things are fixed first. And this circles all the way back to the whole process over profit. Too many of us get into trading with the intentions and the lack of patience of becoming wealthy in a very short period of time. So what do? While we're learning, we're playing position sizes that are way too big. And we're doomed from the start. Jimmy, I started with $10,000 and a month later I'm down to $50. What the fuck? You know how long I can make $10,000 account last? Even taking losing trades? If you play conservatively without the mindset of $20 isn't worth it, what am I wasting my time for? Then you can do it. You can learn. You can afford the learning process. But if you're yeeting 50% of your account on every trade and your stop loss is 40% or whatever the fuck it is, your account ain't going to last long at all. Oh, well, that was an expensive lesson. Of course it was an expensive lesson. It's your second fucking trade. And you just spent $7,000 on it. Whoa. What did you think was going to happen? You know, go in there, play $100 contracts on a $10,000 account. That's a lot of small cuts. You're going to take a lot of cuts. You're going to bleed a lot. But it doesn't have to be expensive every trade to learn a lesson. But too many people say, oh, $10,000, I only made $20. It's only 2%. on the account. It's not worth it. That's less than 2%. 0.2, yeah. And it's like, but you'll say, hey, that's not even worth my time. Not even worth my time. And I know you guys in there with me during the day, you'll hear me say things like that. Oh, $95 wasn't even worth getting out of bed for, right? I try to watch what I say, knowing whose ears they're falling on. Okay. I don't say the things I say to be insensitive. I don't say the things I say because I am not aware of what your situation is. Okay. I say the things that I say because that's how they relate to me personally in my situation. Abe, have a good night, sir. I'm going to be wrapping this up in about 5 minutes anyway. I forgot to warn everybody that these talks often last as long as a full-length featured film, and I apologize for that. I always try and make them manageable in size, but it rarely works out that way. But I get on a roll, and one thing that I'm saying leads into something else, and I care. And that care is what drives me to continue to try and help everybody at every level for as long as I possibly can. This is probably the most amazing accomplishment of my life so far, besides my children, has been this community. And it means a lot to me because I've met amazing people in here. I've had the fortune of helping people that were in really bad situations. I've had to deal with the downsides of it, seeing people lose savings accounts and things of that nature, right? But no matter what, everything that I learn, that I share, conversations that I have behind the scenes with folks, all goes into my head, and I try and turn it into something that I can use to help other people going forward. Right? It's very difficult for me to accept that I can't help everyone. And thus, I continue to try to help everyone. And, it is what it is. I am who I am. You guys tell me all the time, Jimmy, you need to be you. Fuck what everybody else says. This, that, and the other. I have a very hard time with that. I'm not. It's hard for me to be that way because I'm not naturally that way. But it's crazy. So I'll leave you guys with this. Consider playing smaller while you're learning so that you can afford the learning process. Number one. Number two, extend your expectations on the time side of learning this business. Number three, don't walk past the $100 bill on the ground in hopes of finding $200 around the corner. Until you can afford to allow profits to leave you once they're in your possession, get into the habit of adding to your profits regardless of how small you think they are. Because when you have a $500 account or a $100 account, you know who I'm talking about, and you're up 25% on your account, but because it's only $25, you say, I'm going to hold out for more. I'm going to slap the fucking shit out of you. Because in the same situation, if you had a $5,000 or a $10,000 account and you're up $2,500, all of a sudden, 25% on the account is fucking good enough. So keep your expectations in mind. And if you have to tell yourself, damn, somebody said it to me today. I don't remember at what point of the day it was, but I was up $190 or something like that. And I said, well, I should be up $600 right now. This was like 30 minutes into the day. And I don't remember who it was, so please forgive me for this. But this gentleman said, Jimmy, that takes me almost 8 hours to make at my day job. Now, people who have been here for any kind of time have heard me say that plenty of times. Here we are making more money in 20 minutes than we do in an 8-hour day at our jobs, and yet it's not good enough to walk away from. Whatever you have to do to put into perspective the profit to time ratio that we earn in this market in relation to the time to profit ratio that you have at your day job, break it down into hourly pay if you have to. If I'm making $50 in a minute, that's a lot of dollars per hour. Okay? Be happy with it. Be happy with it. If you choose to walk away having only, quote, only made $35, regardless of what size account you have, that's a guaranteed $35. But the minute you go back into the market, you risk that number becoming zero or worse off, a loss of more than $35. When you have a $50,000, $100,000 account, then maybe when you're up $150 on your position or $200 and you decide to let the trade play out to your profit target or your stop loss, then it's okay. Because at a $100,000 account, at $200 is not even going to be missed if you lose it. But you're not there yet. Most of us are not even close to that. So $100 in 10 minutes because we caught a nice open, consider that a fucking gift. Put it in your account, put it in your pocket, and go do something else that's not going to cost you that $100. You can make enough money in 30 minutes to live comfortably once you're good at this. In fact, that would be my suggestion and goal for everybody. Get in, get your profit, get the fuck out. Go enjoy life. Sitting in front of a computer screen all day long is not a life. That's what we're trying to get away from. Everybody who's trying to get out of their day jobs. You don't want to go from one version of sitting in front of a computer to another one. And we have some people, and I don't know if Sherry's in here, but her and I have talked at length about that. In fact, we've kind of argued about it in times past. And finally, she's trying to do a one and done. And she did it today. And she's finding that it's quite nice to make a few $100 in a single trade and then be done for the day. It's amazing. But too many people allow greed to say, you know what? I made $300 my first trade. That means I could do it again for certain on my next trade, and I'll be up $600. And then, oh, I'm up $600. I'm on a fucking roll. I'm going to double down and make $1,200 on my next trade. This is what you people do. This is what you do. And then you lose it all. You lose it all. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I'm sure I've talked your eardrums into oblivion. They're probably numb to the point where you are tired of hearing me say the same shit in a different way, like stop doing stupid shit. Tomorrow, do better. If you don't feel it, don't take it. There will be a million opportunities every day to trade. The market is not going anywhere. It's not. It will be there whenever you're ready. But just wait until you're ready. There's no rush. There's no rule that requires you have to take a certain amount of trades or you can't be here. Don't add pressure to an already pressure-filled situation. And with that, I love you guys. I will always be here to try and help the best that I can, as will Fibs, Golden, P Daddy. That's what we're here for. If you need me ever, shoot me a DM. If I don't answer or I don't respond to you within a day, please remind me. I will forget. I have a lot going on all the time. I am never going to ignore anybody. Okay, so if it happens, please don't take it personal. Just say, hey, Jimmy, I messaged you the other day. Did you get it? And I will respond immediately. And yeah. So this was recorded. I will go ahead and post it. It's 1 hour, 25 minutes long. No, it's longer than that, isn't it? Yeah, it's longer than that. Hey, I like it. SS73, good job. Look at that. It makes the letter J in green boxes. Epic. You guys be good. Thank you for letting me bend your ears. I hope it helped. I hope I got into some of your heads. It will be posted in the video section. You'll get a notification, Silverback. You'll get an at everybody tag on it. You're welcome, sir. And that'll be that. So you all have a great day. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. See ya.